What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Of course, it was yesterday during I think it was the first quarter, during yesterday's action between the Pacers and the Thunder in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, a game ultimately won by the Thunder. Tyrese Haliburton, who had led the charge this entire season in what has been seen by many as an improbable near title run all the way to Game 7 of the finals, only to have Tyrese Haliburton go down with what appeared to be all the telltale signs of a significant Achilles injury. We're hoping for the best. But according to reports, according to Sham Charania of ESPN, he has suffered a torn right Achilles. This makes him, I believe, the third significant player in, I think, a span less than 2 months to suffer a significant Achilles tendon rupture. He joins Damian Lillard and Jason Tatum. And this is, of course, devastating news for the Pacers organization. They're going to be without him for quite some time. It's going to require him to have surgery. And then at least about 9 months, I would say, the very minimum 8 months of recovery. Um, could be as long as 10 months, could be a little longer than that. Now, the only quote unquote good thing you can think about is this injury occurs just as the offseason begins for the Pacers. So that can give them a leg up, pardon the pun, as far as recovering. I don't know the timetable in my head, but what would that be? Sometime around the winter coming back? So that would put the Pacers at a big disadvantage as far as seeding is concerned. The Pacers are a spirited bunch, but without their best player, I don't see them being amongst the top teams in the Eastern Conference without Tyrese Haliburton's contributions. Tyrese Haliburton has been amazing, especially in the second half of the season and these playoffs. He answered the charge of him being the quote-unquote most overrated player in the NBA. He took that personal, and he led a furious charge for the Pacers almost to the title, almost to the championship. And I still feel like had he not gotten hurt, the Pacers stood an excellent chance at winning a championship, man. But we'll never know. We'll never know. But best wishes to Tyrese Haliburton, man. This is devastating news for the Pacers organization. And personally for Tyrese Haliburton, you really knew by his reaction what it was. You know what I'm saying? He knew. He felt it immediately. He pounded his fist on the parquet floor, and you just knew by his reaction that the thing about the Achilles is, quite frankly, you don't know exactly how each player will respond to the recovery. There are some players who, even today with the advanced medicine, still never got back to the level of play that they were at before. I'm confident that Tyrese Haliburton is going to get back to where he was. I just don't know when that's going to be. Also, there could be the mental aspect of it. And by that, I mean, some players, I hate to say this, but some players sometimes get hurt because when they suffer these types of injuries, they consistently get hurt because they're overthinking. They're thinking too much and not going through their natural movements. That it, ironically, them being overly careful and cautious increases the chances of them getting hurt because their bodies are not making natural basketball movements. And, that's something that can be looked at, unfortunately. We also have to talk about the elephant in the room, the 3,000-pound elephant in the room, and that is what exactly is causing these types of injuries? What exactly is causing these injuries? I've heard some people say it's the style of play now, the up and down, play where the game is faster and these players are doing a lot more moving around, than before. Whereas in the '90s, basketball was a lot more half court, and it wasn't as much, chasing around and starting and stopping and move from side to side, lateral movements and things of that nature. I can attest to that because, doing a lot of lateral movements can put an aggravation on your Achilles in any sport or just in general. Um, some people think it's the footwear. Some people think it's the lack of preparation some of these players make. Although I don't believe that with a guy like Tyrese Haliburton, but whatever the case may be, something is causing this uptick, and you know, I think organizations now with Tyrese Haliburton, he was in a situation where he kind of had to go out there and play. Like it's the NBA Finals. This ain't a regular season game. You had to go out there and play. But I think what has to be done is when players suffer calf injuries or lower leg injuries, organizations have to take these types of injuries a lot more seriously because we've seen this with Kevin Durant. We saw this with Damian Lillard recently, and now we see it with Tyrese Haliburton. We've seen it with other players who was pressured to come back and play too soon after a lower leg injury, and it manifests into a more serious Achilles rupture. But anyway, devastating news for Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers. Tell me what you guys think.